Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart.
Where we talk everything Zootopia.
And it has been a minute. So sorry about that. So our last episode was back in the beginning of April with our interview with Yvette Marino, which was super great. You should definitely check it out.
If you haven't already, it was really a very nice interview with her.
Yeah, we all had a great time and heard from them later that she loved it, so yay. Then a lot of stuff happened, including me getting very, very sick.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much details, but it was a chronic thing where I just had really bad hives all over my body for some inexplicable reason. And it took about 2 months for me to figure out what that reason was. Guess what? I can't eat wheat anymore.
That's so sad.
Yep. The genetic curse that all of my sisters have finally came for me. Celiac. It finally hit.
So now...
Only took me 32 years.
Wow, so now it will be gluten-free food. Yay.
Yep, having to relearn how to make everything and not just eat whatever delicious-looking snacks and stuff are in front of me.
Yikes.
It's been a transition. So, yeah. But, on the plus side, I'm no longer sick, so...
That's good to know.
That's good. It took a while to figure it out, though. So, yeah. So, that's what I've been up to. Not dying. It's always good to not do that.
Of course.
And yeah, so we also celebrated our 10-year anniversary of ZNN.
Alright, finally 10 years of Zootopia and also for this lovely project, ZNN.
Yep. Started back at the end of March, and you're getting this podcast in June, so sorry about that.
Oh yeah,
but
and I'm glad
we have had... Oh, sorry.
I was about to say that we really didn't introduce ourselves, but I think you already know who we are.
Yeah. If you're here at this point, you know I'm Andy Lagopus, she's PinkStar.
Yeah, and we're finally back after this technically small hiatus, but for good reasons.
We're back, we're healthy, we're doing good, and our website is 10 years old. Hooray!
Yeah, and to celebrate that, we have a special community event that it's currently going to be running as of June.
2 events, actually. We have the Very Wild Summer on our community Discord, and the Big Bang Author Challenge and Artist Challenge. So, those are both being headed up by Atocha and Civet, who you might remember from when we did the merch unboxing video.
Of course, yes. So, if you really want to be part of this wonderful project, well, both projects, well, you should go and join our Discord server, ZNN, that you can find...
Discord.gg/ZNN.
Exactly, and also you can find it in our website, ZootopiaNewsNetwork.com.
Yep. And speaking of ongoing projects, we announced a little while ago that we were doing the second Ultimate Thank You Card project, and we still are. Don't get me wrong, we still are doing it. We've hit a bit of a snack on the Disney side, but it is happening. It's just not happening as soon as we would have liked, but it is still happening, so keep your eyes out for that. And finally, we have a special announcement of something new we're doing to celebrate our anniversary, so let's roll that and we'll get right into the episode afterwards. And now, ZNN presents an advertisement.
Do you want to celebrate ZNN operating for a decade with us?
I've got just the thing, a brand new figurine of a quality that is not sus. It's Andy Lagopus, Zootopia, Focus, the leader, head honcho, the boss. Decked out in his blues and mic to interview a particular bunny and fox. For $55 and a bit of good luck, one of these little guys could be yours. If that seems too high, please consider that I do all this work you won't find in stores. Printing and washing and curing and priming and painting all of the details. Gluing and signing and varnishing, packaging, getting it out in the mail. Each crafted by hand when we see the demand made to order up until we stop. So here's what you do, you just have to go to our website and then follow by shop. We plan to make 50, so order them quickly or they could forever be gone. The funds from these objects help CNN projects. Our podcast and reviews, exclusive interviews, content reporting, so thanks for supporting ZootopiaNewsNetwork.com.
All right, very good.
That was a lot of fun to put together. I did the lyrics and AJ did the music. So thank you to him for the editing on that. And with that special announcement of our commemorative 10-year anniversary figurine, which I will be making by hand, and which you can purchase at ZootopiaNewsNetwork.com/shop, as the song said, let's get into today's episode. Today, we are covering the full timeline of events of Zootopia 2. I believe we did this for Zootopia 1 a while back, yeah?
Yeah, it seems like it. I believe.
Yeah. So it's about time we covered the sequel again. So, the question is, what was Pubert's plan? I hope that'll become apparent as we go through this. So, I found the best way to split this up is over the course of 3 days. The whole movie takes place over 3 days. And from 3 different groups of perspectives. Alright, so let's check out the timeline of Zootopia 2 from 3 different major perspectives across 3 different days. So, we're not counting the prologue, where it's the recap of the first movie and Nick and Judy getting an award from the mayor and waking up and going about their day, you know?
Yep.
So, they start off the day with their sting operation at the docks, where they are dressed as the Proud Parents of the Year.
Of course, yes. Whole
Then
theme,
it goes
carrot
into
theme.
the car chase.
Carrot theme and popsicles, too.
Oh yeah. Classic Nick and Judy. So they have their car chase, and then they get called into Chief Bogo's office. That's all the same morning. Now, from Pubert and Gary's perspective, the first time we see Pubert is at the dockyard making some sort of deal with Snootly right before Nick and Judy get his attention, and he comes on over to talk to them. This is the time when he is picking up Gary from having him smuggled in. Unfortunately, Snootly steals the truck that contained the crate that Gary was in. So, things went off the rails immediately for Pubert's plan.
Right.
From our third perspective, that of the ZPD, it starts with the briefing in the morning, then it goes to the car chase, and finally ends in the office with Bogo. So far, pretty straightforward, about the same perspectives as we've seen in the movie so far, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, that afternoon, Nick and Judy go to the Partners in Crisis. They have their discussion by the vending machine and bust a hole in the IT department's wall. They have their conversation outside with their partner books, and then they go to their respective homes. Now, here's where a little bit of speculation is required, because we don't know what happens with Pubert and Gary this afternoon. However, given some context clues and other hints scattered throughout the movie, we do know they had to accomplish a couple of things. before the gala begins. First off, they need to get the car fixed, because this is actually the same van somehow. They somehow recovered it and fixed it.
Yep.
As you can tell by the license plates being identical. They also had Gary learn the layout of the Linksley Manor, and Pubert got the giant fire going, so that there could be a warm room for Gary to go to. As for the ZPD's perspective, some of them are in therapy and others are causing people to need therapy.
Of course, and now that I can see much detail here, it's really upsetting how they I don't know if bully will be the correct term.
No, it's bullying.
Yeah, it is technically, but it's not, I don't know if there's a better way to say it, how they are bothering them because of what happened earlier that day.
Well, they're definitely mocking them.
Yeah, I believe that's a better word, mocking them.
Okay, yeah. So, then the sun sets and a lot happens the first night.
Too much information, exactly.
Yeah, so much information happens here. A lot tends to happen in some of these days. So, the first night, it goes from Judy crashing Nick's apartment, them going disguised as, like, in their meter maid outfits, to the gala, getting dressed up in their snazzy outfits, going into the gala, all of the stuff that happens, including them being threatened by the Linksleys, and after catching up with Gary, them surfing on a painting, and finally, or not finally, getting stuck in Mr. Big's car, and being brought to the big warehouse. That's a lot in one night. And we do know from Judy's phone that they arrive at the warehouse at only around 9:30 p.m. So there's still quite a bit of time going on here. Now, Pubert and Gary are equally busy this first night. Gary sneaks in, and Pubert deliberately finds Judy and introduces himself while pretending to not know who she is, but at the same time being his socially awkward self.
He knows who she is. I mean, at the end he says, "Oh, you are Judy." Like, make it appear.
Yeah, he knows who Judy Hopps is, but he hadn't met her previously.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Though he had seen her previously, as we can see on day 1. When he came to pick it up, he saw Nick and Judy taking off in the hog rod. So he was aware that they were involved from the beginning. Then Gary climbs the chandelier, which I assume is where he was hiding out during the gala. Or at least partially during the gala, because, I mean, a chandelier has a lot of lights, and there would be some decent warmth there for him. That's my theory, at least, anyways.
The thing is, how did Gary manage to put the cape around himself?
I think he's decent at getting in and out of clothes without arms. Regardless, he makes his grand entrance, grabs Milton and the journal, which is important because this is, during the speech, is the only time they are both easily accessible and unprotected.
Yeah, good point. They're vulnerable.
Yep. So, he gets the journal out of the case, and then, and I believe the plan was to just have him jump out the window, and Pubert would be there waiting to take him away in his motorcycle, which he was. However, he expected to have the journal at that point. So they had to double back and be like, okay, we have to follow and keep tabs on Nick and Judy, because they're off with the bigs, and we need the book that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's also implied, it's not directly stated, but it's implied that overnight they stayed at the honeymoon lodge. Because there's a bedroll set up, there's Gary sheddings on the stairs, there's the whole web of conspiracy boards trying to figure out where the Reptile Ravine district is without the journal. But I think,
right.
Yeah, they were trying to piece together as much information as they could without it, just in case they weren't able to get it, I think. But thankfully for them, that didn't end up being necessary. But that's all day one. Now, from the ZPD's perspective, that night, Clawhauser's providing traffic guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the gala.
He's listening to Giselle singing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's just jamming out. Chief Bogo has a very tiny drink. The Zebros are guarding the mayor. And then everything happens. Bogo gets fanged. I love that screenshot. And he gets put in the ambulance, where they have a generic anti-venom, so that seems to be helpful. And the manhunt begins, organized by Mayor Winddancer on the behalf of Milton Linksley. So that's day one of Zootopia 2. A lot happened in that single day from start to finish. Now, on to the next morning. They start by getting introduced to Nibbles. Now, I will point out that there appears to be a time discrepancy here, where previously, Frou-Frou says, "Truck out of town, leaves in an hour." Sorry, I can't do a very good Frou-Frou voice. She says it leaves in an hour, but we then see the truck leaving with the sun rising. So presumably, after Frou-Frou tells them about her contact, Nibbles, and they make introductions and such, Nibbles says that she'll be there first thing in the morning at sunrise. To which, presumably, the Bigs let Nick and Judy stay with them for the evening, and they just get a bit of rest. They'd had a big day, and they need to be fresh for the morning.
Right.
That's all speculation, and not said in the script, but it is a reasonable implication, I believe. Yeah?
Got it, yes.
Mm-hmm. So, Nibbles takes them over to Marsh Market, where by then the sun is fully in the sky, but it is still morning. Interestingly, it talks about Marsh Market being the jewel of the city, which does make sense because it's been established that it predates Zootopia as a city itself. So that's interesting. Then they get taken around on the tour. You meet Wally, or is it Russ? I can't remember if this guy is Wally or Russ, but he takes them over to the reptile speakeasy.
Yes, the ship.
Yep, the sinking ship, the half-sunken ship. The reptiles, well, they have that whole encounter. They eat some local cuisine.
They speak to Jesus.
Yep, they speak to Jesus. And then they have their chase across Marsh Market, chasing after Gary. And end up
ZPD.
in the tunnel. Yeah, they're running from the ZPD and after Gary. So it's a multiplayer chase. And they end up in the tubes. So that's about where the morning ends for Nick and Judy. Following everything so far?
Yeah, I think so far we're good. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Great. Now, Pubert and Gary's perspective. They see that... Okay, I really should have had the ZPD here. the ZPD's perspective, they received a tip, most likely. I believe that this dolphin called in a tip because, well, he just got ticked off by Nick, and guess who's on the TV right behind him? The mugshot of Nick, Judy, and Gary, showing that they're fugitives.
Get the news report.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which is what leads me to believe that he or one of the other patrons nearby called in the tip, which led the ZPD to Marsh Market. I can't really think of another way that they would have found them in Marsh Market so quickly otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Then
they had to find out they were at Marsh Market, yes, exactly, because they were looking for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, what was it? The mayor with Dancer already had put the order, to start searching for them.
Yeah, and we saw the previous night that the cops were searching everywhere. They'd been dispersed throughout the whole city. But yet, Hogbottom and Truffler were right there in Marsh Market just a few short hours after Nick and Judy are right in that same area. So, someone had to have tipped them off.
True.
And, quite frankly, I think it's most likely that someone called in a tip. Now, the angry sea lion that Nick irritated also was more than willing to cooperate with the police and point them in the right direction, which led them to the speakeasy, where Bloats and Tiggins were able to, sneak up on them underwater, and then give chase across the district, culminating in the cops getting distracted by fruit Hungry Hungry Hippo style. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that won't be reflected in their annual performance report.
Oh, no.
Then, for the morning of day 2, Pubert and Gary's perspective. It's interesting to note that they are not trailing Nick and Judy at this point. They're following the cops.
Wow.
So,
yes.
My theory is that Pubert is somehow connected into the Linksley's communications at this point. And so anything that gets reported to Milton, Pubert hears. So, he may have heard the tip about Marsh Market, and it makes sense that they would go there. They're looking for information on reptiles, and that's one of the few places in the city with reptiles.
Right.
Or only place. Gary goes and now he has his little pouch, which he didn't seem to have before, at least not during the gala. So I'm unsure whether he got the fanny pack in Marsh Market, or if he brought it with him from across the sea, like in his crate.
No idea.
It's not stated, but one theory I have is that overnight when they were at the lodge, Pubert harvested some of his venom in order to make the anti-venom pen. And also give Pubert a bit of the venom.
True.
But anyways, from their perspective, he steals the book back, they have the chase, and end up in the tubes. And eventually, Gary ends up over in Kloppenhofen, where Pubert is ready to meet him. Now, given the speed of the tubes, I think it's a reasonable expectation that Pubert went straight to Kloppenhofen from this point, and basically, Gary might have gotten there first by taking the tube, but Pubert was already on his way,
On the motorbike, yes.
Yep. So we already covered the ZPD. Now, that was the morning of day 2. It's a very dense movie, if I haven't said it before. Lots happens in a short span of time.
Yes.
So Nick and Judy escape the tube. I do like this screenshot as well.
Of them finally getting out of the tube, climbing up to the lodge.
Mm-hmm. Arriving at the honeymoon lodge, doing their search and exploration of it, and then finally being separated as the sun starts to set. So, that's the afternoon. From Pubert and Gary's perspective, they pull up, they finally, reunite in Kloppenhofen and come back up the road, the goats say is the main way that visitors tend to arrive there. And they help Nick and Judy fight off the ZPD. Now, from the ZPD's perspective, they go to where they know that Nick and Judy went through the tube, and they presumably got an alert when the emergency valve was triggered, and maybe the goats also called them and said, hey, some people just came out of the tube, you'd better go check on them, you know?
Right.
So they bring Chèvre and Boucheron, and I apologize if I butchered the French. Alright, so Chèvre and Boucheron are tasked with climbing the mountain, because mountain goats, they can do so easily. Nick and Boucheron have an intimate moment. Or is that Chèvre? I can't remember. One of them. They have a very tender moment. And then, that screenshot isn't helping things either.
Oh.
And then Nick is arrested and brought before Mayor Windancer.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. So here's where they split up a bit, and Judy gets pushed into the perspective of Pubert and Gary, and Nick is on his own.
Right.
He's thrown in jail, and meets up with Nibbles in jail.
And presumably, he's like, how did you end up here?
Yep. Now, it's not stated how long it takes them to get back and everything, but the prison is in, I want to say, Sahara Square. It appears to be where the prison is located. So, it is a bit of a hike, and there might have been, processing and paperwork and everything before he's actually thrown in the cell. You know?
Yeah.
Because it is still dark outside when he is in the cell. But then, by the time the jailbreak happens, shortly, at the end of that scene, the sun is rising again. Yeah. So, it's a bit unclear what time Nick is actually thrown in the jail cell, but he doesn't spend very much time there. Now, Judy, Pubert, and Gary, they have, Judy wakes up in the motor car, not motor car, motor car, what is this? The 1920s? Yes, let's get in the motor carriage, and go for a jaunty ride through the countryside, haha!
They could have something more modern, maybe?
Sidecar, that was the word I was looking for. The motorcycle sidecar.
They could have come up with some modern motorbike, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a motorcycle sidecar. I got the motor and car, but not the middle part. Okay, so they go to his hideout, everything happens there, and Gary reads the book. They learn about the history, everything of that sort, but I'm not including that in the timeline because that happened 100 years prior.
Yes, it's only a flashback.
Yep. So, from the ZPD's perspective, Kitty tracks Pubert's phone, and they get the call saying they know where Judy is. Again, that is presumably right around dawn, because Nick breaks out shortly afterwards. Now, they have the jailbreak, and the sun is rising.
Accidental jailbreak.
Yes, well, Nick was intending to jailbreak, but he wasn't intending to bring everyone else with him.
Yeah, he only wanted to get away, but because he doesn't know it, he has never been arrested before, he doesn't know how the system works, so yeah.
I'm sure maybe. He did say he didn't have any prior arrests, but he did cross that out and put no after writing yes, so it's unclear how much time he spent there, but probably not in this level security facility.
Yeah.
Also, side note, what kind of jail keeps mice in same-sized cells as bigger mammals? They could just walk out at any time.
Also, let's not forget that Bellwether had her own special cell.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe she displayed a lot more psychotic tendencies afterwards, once she was able to let loose. Anyways, he calls Flash. They call up Clawhauser and are kind of just driving around the city, waiting until they know where they need to be going. But fortunately, they're able to make it in time. Now, from Judy, Pubert, and Gary's perspective, they're driving to the weather wall. They get to Burning Mammal. They get inside the wall, and they manage to flip the switch, turning on the power. This is where everything starts to come together because everyone's in the same spot. The ZPD, they're giving chase. Clawhauser is assisting them using Paul's computer, and they fire the poison dart that ends up hitting Flash's car, thankfully. Like, if you've seen the movie, you know how this all plays out, you know?
Yes, exactly.
There's nothing really crazy happening here.
Oh yeah, we forgot the spoilers, Morty, right? Well,
it's been out for months at this point. If you still need a spoiler warning, too late, you're too far into the episode.
Okay, sorry.
If you needed spoiler warning, I'm sorry. You should have thought of that like 15 minutes ago.
Sorry about that.
No. We should have thought of it 15 minutes ago as well. But I'm going to put the blame on the viewer in this case, because you should know better. This is a Zootopia podcast, and we're talking about the plot of Zootopia too. We're going through a timeline. Naturally, there's going to be spoilers, so it's on you. The viewer, listener, audience, whatever you want to be called. Ha 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 ha. So, there's the twist. Gary is thrown in the cold. Pubert is the bad guy. Wahaha, dun dun dun. Gary manages to snuggle up to Judy to warm up, and the ZPD finally arrive and point their fingers at Gary.
Huh.
Now, Pubert and Nick are having their fight. Gary manages to hold off 2 hippos and 2 goats, like mountain goats. So, Snake is strong and, like, slippery. Like,
yes,
he puts up a good fight. 1 against 4.
Yeah, the advantage that he is much, he weights less than the other 2. So, yeah, that's also the part of it I will want to believe.
Exactly. But he's also protecting Judy. He's still holding her.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. Nick makes his heroic sacrifice. Judy wakes up and makes her sacrifice play. Gary saves them both. Pubert continues to fall because nobody wanted to sacrifice themselves for him. And they have the moment.
Yes.
I still just love that.
They finally let out how they truly feel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, we've got Nick and Judy and Nibbles and Gary. They all get on the snowmobile. Nibbles pops her head through a door and makes an inappropriate joke. Nick and Judy steal a truck.
They go through
with the express intent of running over their former friend.
Yes.
In Judy's case.
The shiny maze.
Mm-hmm. They go through the Shining Maze, capture Pubert, find the Reptile Ravine, find the patent. It's a lot that happens. Again, it's a very dense movie. Pubert, I love this screenshot of him. That's just such a great face. He makes his "for you, daddy." He gets his shining moment.
Once again.
He gets hogtied. He might like it, I don't know. And then he goes like full nutjob, like pyromaniac, burn it all to the ground. I'm a real Linksley.
And finally knocked out by the ZPD.
Yep. From the ZPD's perspective, Mayor Winddancer is just chilling with Milton, having a cup of tea when Milton's son bursts through the door and starts talking about a big conspiracy, and like he's just standing there trying to have his tea.
Yeah, then Nibbles and Gary are fighting against the
Milton and Pubert and Catrick.
Yes, exactly.
Or not Pubert, Kitty and Catrick.
Kitty. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting them, and also Neville says, like, you're going to be here on TV or also in real life, and he finally stands up to them.
Yep, and he does so in very dramatic fashion. Again, Milton's face is gorgeous. Hogbottom and Truffler catch up to Pubert and deliver the coup de grace via frying pan, as Flynn Rider and Rapunzel would be proud.
Yeah.
He march him out, saved the day. The Linksleys are arrested. Hooray, the day is saved.
All right.
That was a busy 3 days.
Yes. Like you're running on adrenaline on this. Like we just view things in different, like you said, in different perspectives. We had, and also cutting out the time between also, because we had to, the movies going along and along, and too much.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And only very few moments you're allowed to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pace
Precisely.
is
like
pace is
3 days ago, Nick and Judy knew only the other cops. They had no idea who any of the other people were. They had no idea there was some conspiracy. They found it all, uncovered it, and dealt with the perpetrators within just a couple of days.
Just like their first case together of the missing mammal cases.
Kind of. So they did that for the Finding Otterton part of the Missing Mammals case, but there was a gap between that and them taking down Bellwether.
Right.
So, but once Judy knew to look for somebody behind it all, yeah, she took care of it like lickety-split. Credit where it's due, she is fast.
Right. She trained a lot for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, not only that, but she's just naturally fast compared to all the other cops, too.
Right.
Like,
also because of her... Also, again,
she's
her
a rabbit,
size.
too.
Yes.
They are naturally very fast.
She took advantage of those traits.
Yep. Now, there's the epilogue. Chief Bogo gets better. It gets presented to Paul in a donut. They reopen Reptile Ravine with a giant golden statue of Agnes. Gary somehow cutting the ribbon with scissors. Don't ask me how.
How he manages to do that.
He does it anyways. Now, it is unclear how much time has passed because it is fully thawed, which that would take quite some time. And let alone damage done by the water, like, there would be a good little chunk of time between the ending of the case and the reopening of the district.
Yes. And obviously the therapy session, how much time was it between all of that? Because obviously I want to believe the therapy session is after all of that. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to believe.
Yeah, because Nick's giving his speech at that time. Okay. They have a party at the Snake residence with all of, like, Judy's siblings. Then Nick and Judy go and capture Bellwether in their final case with this of the movie, featuring good old Rick Wilde and Trudy Cabbage Patch.
The concert?
Mm-hmm. That is where I am a little confused, because we don't know. We know that the, like, oh, there's going to be another case part comes after the party in Reptile Ravine.
Yes.
But the concert is at Burning Mammal, which is taking place the same day as all of this is going on. Like, during the case.
So it was delayed?
I don't think so. I don't know. But this here, Bellwether being captured and having the purple hair specifically, because she dyed it once she got out of prison.
Right.
It's interesting. I am not sure where it falls on the timeline, per se.
No idea.
It could be that, oh, there's another case then. Oh, yes, because you let all those criminals out. Worth it. Like, where do we want to start? It could be that that conversation happened after they'd already captured Bellwether again. But, again, it's very unclear. So
we'll have to ask. Perhaps we can ask that to Jared.
He's busy on other stuff, but maybe Byron. Who knows? Or Yvette.
I mean, if they
we'll
make
have to
another
ask someone.
If there's another Q&A on the future, perhaps we can answer it. We can ask that.
Maybe. I personally am of the belief that this just wasn't something that they thought too hard about, because it was the end credits, like, name stinger thing. Yep. So, and then, of course, the post-credits, love you, partner, scene setting up the third movie.
Right.
Wonderful film, complicated and dense timeline. And that kind of brings us back to the original question. What was Pubert's original plan? What would the plan have been had Judy not gotten involved? My belief is that the plan was to smuggle in Gary, have him steal the journal using Milton to get it at the gala, same as before, then escape on the motorcycle, because he was already ready to go and just take it, and assuming that went well, he would have the book, which they could then read right away. He could find the Reptile Ravine, and he could go all psycho, and burn it to the ground, and, like, burn the original patent, and be done with it.
Yes.
So, from the get-go, Judy immediately ruined it.
For him, that is.
Yeah. Because they immediately made off with the decision by Snootley to grab the first van he could, which happened to be the one with Gary in it, really threw a wrench in all of his plans.
Exactly. If they had taken another vehicle, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, exactly. I think that also comes back to where he says, like, where he asks her if she is working this. Because if she is, then it means that the ZPD might be onto him. But if she's not, and she's just there as a guest or something at the gala, then he might still be in the clear, you know?
Yeah.
He does a very good job of pivoting towards making Judy an ally. That's something that Bellwether tried to do as well, but I think Pubert was a bit more successful by successfully playing the empathetic and relatable dork.
And well, because he also had Gary on his side, and Gary also had his perspective that they could help him.
Yeah, exactly. And Gary is just such a sweet cinnamon roll. How can you say no?
It's like he noticed that Judy was willing to help him, unlike others.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. So he was going for the villain plan of let the hero solve the mystery and then swoop in at the last second to get your way.
The thing is that, like you mentioned previously, the plan of when the CPD were chasing them through the Marsh Market and Gary again stole the book.
Mm-hmm.
It was also part of the plan because, well, he could have asked directly to Judy to come along with him. He could have done that, but he didn't. He just took the diary again and left.
Well, it is worth noting. Here, let me go back to the day in question. It is worth noting that at this point, Gary says, "See, I told you she would help."
Yeah, but before that.
Yeah. Well, during this portion...
Yes, exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gary had no idea who Judy was or what her character was like, so he didn't know to trust her either. She was calling after him, "Wait, we believe you," and then was, like, clearly trying to be of assistance in some way while chasing him. Yeah, that's what convinced Gary that she might be on their side, and he convinced Pubert. You know?
Okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah. So they stole the book back because they needed the book, and Nick and Judy had it, you know?
And from what they know, perhaps they were going. I remember the announcement on the news also of them being fugitives.
Yeah, and with this scene in particular, like, Judy seemed like she was believing Gary before he got knocked out.
Yes.
And then was willing to, like, put herself in harm's way to get him out of there before the Linksleys could do anything. So, yeah. Gary convinced Pubert to bring Judy into it, and then Pubert played his role very well, up until the point where he no longer needed any of them. At which point, well, we know what happens.
Exactly.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. So, there you have it. The entire Zootopia 2 timeline. I hope this has been entertaining and potentially educational, I guess?
Hopefully?
Yeah, something of the sort. What do you think, PinkStar?
Yeah, I want to believe too that it is a very more organized timeline, like, because in the movie we obviously jump back and forth, so the pace will not be too not slow, in the sense that we only see one perspective, like we jump back and forth with Nick and Judy, the CPD, and then with Pubert and Gary, and then the perspectives combined and everything. So yeah, a more organized timeline here to see the perspective of everybody. It is really interesting to see.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a part where the diverging timelines and, like, not timelines, but perspectives is brought home, where Nick is like, yeah, I have no idea who that is or who Gary is, but let's go. Like, Nick was missing a lot of information at this point, but he was still totally willing to just roll with it. Because from, like, Judy got all the exposition here, you know?
Right.
Yeah, this was the time that all the exposition parts happened. Nick missed all of that. So, having a clear, distinct timeline of who knows what and when really does help enhance the experience, I think.
Yeah, that's very much true. So we just have to wait and see with Zootopia 3 what they're going to come up with.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we won't have to wait nearly as long this time.
Maybe. So I will believe
they've said it shouldn't be another 9 years.
By
Knock on wood.
2032 or 2033?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Still will be a while, but yeah.
It'll be a few years at the very least. But yeah, that was Zootopia 2, the full timeline.
Hope it will be interesting for all of you. Hope you enjoyed a more organized agenda, as in...
A more organized agenda, as if we weren't scrambling to piece it all together like up until a minute before we went live.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We totally were, by the way.
Oh yeah, no,
But,
of course, yes.
Yeah. It all came together, though. So...
That's the important thing.
Yes.
So, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you all so much for listening and for supporting ZNN over these past 10 years. Thank you all so much once again. I cannot state it enough how grateful I am for all of you.
Yeah, it's incredible to believe that the project has been going on for 10 years and is still going on. Like, there are still many people joining the community, like veteran members, also new members. This whole activity that there's on Discord, the new events that we previously mentioned earlier. And hopefully, those who have not joined yet, you can yes, you can go ahead and enjoy these activities too. So yeah. Hope you keep having a good time in with the project, as in Zootopia News Network, the website, but also the community server.
Yeah, if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/ZNN or go to zootopianewsnetwork.com and donate via PayPal directly. And yeah, thank you all so much again. We wouldn't be here without you. And it's good to be back.
Yes, also remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also join us on Spotify, so you can also listen to the episodes over there. Also encourage you to follow both platforms, so it can be double the fun.
Exactly.
So this has been another episode of It's Kala Podcast, sweetheart.
We'll see you next month. Take care. And boom.